Her hobbies and interests include illustration drawing, all kinds of craft, drag racing, obviously, pottering in the garden, hanging out with friends, and basically can't sit still for too long. Her previous jobs are graphic artist and marketing. The burning desire is to travel all over Australia with a race car to compete in events. Something you know on here knows is she's had a motorbike licence for 6 years before she drove a car. The key to success is passion and drive. If you love what you do enough, then people will pick up on that vibe and help you to succeed. Please join me in welcoming Annie.
So there's a lot of ways to describe me. I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, a sister, business owner, mum to my fur kids, drag racer, artist. But at the end of the day, I'm just a regular girl who has a bit of a story to tell. Unfortunately, that story is not that common a story, but my way of dealing with it and dealing with the stress associated with it actually is. I'd only just turned 40 and I was busy having a little bit of a midlife overhaul. I stopped being an art director at a major advertising agency and I went to work for myself as a graphic artist. Husband and I had just bought an 8-second drag racing car and that's it up there. And I was busy learning how to be a drag racing driver. But sometimes life gets in the way and it causes you to rethink your plans. So I'd like you to picture this. Pretty standard day in a pretty standard household. I'm doing the dishes after dinner. Hubby Mick is laying on the couch with a full belly and the third kids are under the table dreaming about leftovers they're not going to get. But that day in March 2010 was a very, very different day for us. And it changed our world and the world of everyone around us. Because in the shower that night, I discovered a lump in my right breast. Now, I won't bore you with all the gory details, and if you do want them in a humorous sort of tone, you'll need to buy the book. But I'll skip ahead and say that I was diagnosed with a highly aggressive breast cancer, which had travelled through to my lymph nodes in my arm. After lots and lots of tests and scans and biopsies later, then I had multiple surgeries, some very aggressive and experimental chemotherapy, lots of radiation, and a barrage of drugs, of which you all know that I stopped taking last week. Yay! But I am now officially cancer-free. So we're all familiar with the illness side of cancer. It's not pretty. We buy our daffodils and we buy our pink ribbons and we support in the hope that one day research will find a cure for this insidious disease, or at least a better way of treating it. We all support the organisations that provide care for cancer patients. But there's an emotional side to cancer that affects not just the patient, but the entire family and all their friends. There's a stress around that, thinking about what treatment to have, what doctors to see, how you're going to pay for it, what insurance you should have, how to tell the family and friends how to look after your kids. And that's all on top of all your everyday stresses that you're already dealing with. But the stress of a family member or a close friend can actually have its own health side effects and cause sleep problems, missed work, missed school, substance abuse, and unfortunately, more often than not, marriage breakups. lots of our friends, motorsport provides a pretty awesome outlet. And it's so much more than going fast, although that is a really, really cool part of it. It's part of being a supportive community. It's the sights, it's the smells, it's the noise, it's about friendships across all demographics. It's about having friendly rivalries but still helping out a mate. It's about knowing whether you need to have a quiet talk with somebody or have a really good laugh. It's about finding a distraction from the stresses of daily life, and it's about sharing a passion. Oh, we got that down. Sorry guys. The adrenaline rush from being a passenger in our one-of-a-kind in the entire world, supercharged Hellcat Heavy Mercedes-Benz drag racing car creates a very natural and viral high. And this is Crystal, who's 12 months with her first all clear, and her boys, 2 and 5, and her mum were on the sidelines watching her make this momentous trip down the street. I'll leave you to have a look. So while the race experience itself might only last 10 seconds, the positive effects aren't that short-lived. I've been reliably informed that that smile lasts for weeks and can spontaneously erupt at the sheer memory of the event. But while passenger ride is actually our big draw card, it's not the only thing that we do. Therapy on Wheels is about sharing community and the motorsport and bringing everything together. We're about showing that you need an outlet for your stress and that it is okay to have fun and to laugh when you're going through a crappy time. In fact, it really helps you recharge your emotional batteries. The excitement of a kid who's sitting in the driver's seat and has been told, yes, touch all the buttons and pull all the levers, is absolutely contagious. And the car enthusiast who opens up and shares their own experience or about the loss of a loved one while they're looking over the intricacies of this highly customised build is absolutely emotional. And the businesses that have gone out of their way to help us to get to this point and continue to support us with their products and their services is really, really humbling. But I'm sure you've all got heaps and heaps of questions or experiences to share. You can either ask me now or catch up with us later. I brought Wendy along so that we can split the role. And we've also got some extra flyers if anybody wants to take them along to their work or share it around.